man, Drew Holiday just hits a dagger three to give the Milwaukee Bucks a 3-point lead. KD rims it in. Gosh, 104-103. Milwaukee Bucks have the lead here with 2 minutes left. We're doing a Bucks versus Nets Game 7 reaction, but this game has been bananas. We're going live. We're reacting and bang! My man Drew Holiday hits another bucket to make it a 3-point Milwaukee Bucks lead. Welcome, guys. If you're watching the game, react with me. What are your vibes with this? Oh, my God, man. This game, Kevin Durant just drives to the basket, gets the layup, finishes through contact, which he has done all game long. This game is 106-105. Milwaukee Bucks have the lead. Drew Holiday has Blake Griffin on the perimeter. He drives and gets the foul. Oh, my gosh, guys. I can't even breathe right now. Anyway, this is a Sixers-esque post-game show. We are going to be breaking down the Nets versus the Bucks, and we're going to just kind of see how they compare with the Philadelphia 76ers assuming the Sixers get the W here tomorrow night. Guys, what's your vibe with this game so far? I want to hear from you guys. 1:30 remaining. Drew Holiday goes to the free throw line, who has been terrible all game long. He has locked up James Harden, who's fighting an injury. Offensively, he has truly struggled. He just missed his first free throw attempt. We're going to have friends joining us tonight as we proceed here. Speaking of, we've got Mark. What's going on, Mark?
Oh, man, this is giving me anxiety for tomorrow. Oh, my God.
I'm dying. Drew Holiday hits his second free throw, 2-point lead for the Milwaukee Bucks, 1:30 remaining on my end. I'm usually behind. This is wild, man. This is back and forth. One of the most epic fourth quarters. This feels like the Toronto Raptors versus Sixers in that playoff matchup a couple of games ago. KD gets stripped.
For the sake of the stream, I paused it. I'm gonna follow.
Foul. Chris Middleton gets fouled. James Harden fouls Chris Middleton. I can't even breathe right now, man.
I have a considerable units, as I say on the Tough Cover podcast, riding on the Bucks to win this series from before the series at plus 175. So this is a big game for me. And then also for Sixers purposes, I do not want to see Kevin Durant next round. Man. That guy is the boogeyman. I do not want to see that guy.
How good is that guy, man?
He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Let me know when they go to a timeout.
All right, they just went to a timeout. Chris Middleton hits his first free throw. The Bucks are up 108-105, a minute and 5 seconds remaining. It is Middleton's got one more free throw here. The Nets call a timeout. This game has been absolutely bananas. Abe says PJ Tucker checks in the game. KD turns it over immediately. We're going to get into matchups for sure once we find out who the Sixers could be potentially playing. Rightfully so. The Sixers have to take care of business tomorrow night. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long Monday day at work for sure. But, man, this game is not disappointing. This has been truly neck and neck all second half. It is just been a blast.
Oh, my bad. Just a note for Doc Rivers here, because you're looking at both of these teams playing in a Game 7. Both of these teams have played 7 guys. That's all I'm going to say. They played 7 guys each.
Yeah, like halfway through the fourth quarter, like every single starter on these teams played at least 34 minutes. This is, like you said, Mark, like, I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry, Joel. I'm sorry, Tobias. Your ass better be on that court at the Wells Fargo Center for at least 35, 36 minutes. Like, if that doesn't happen, that we're going to have a totally different conversation. But anyway, it's Doc Rivers we're talking about, who hasn't exactly impressed.
Just a stat here for you. It's changed a little bit just in the last couple of minutes, but the Brooklyn Nets bench has played 17 minutes in this game, 2 guys. And the Milwaukee Bucks bench has played 26 minutes, 2 guys. Last game, we played 5 guys off the bench for a combined 74 minutes. We do not have a good enough bench to justify that.
And that's my issue with this entire series. By the way, Chris Middleton's at the free throw line. He shoots and makes the free throw. The Milwaukee Bucks are at 4 points with a minute remaining, guys.
Shooters roll.
KD brings the ball up, defended by PJ Tucker. Here we go, guys. Allah, let's go.
We're coming in for a landing.
KD pulls up and misses the jumper out of bounds. It goes off the Bucks and goes.
Is it close? I think it's out of Milwaukee, but they'll probably review it.
Definitely Milwaukee, guys. If you're watching, react to this. Who do you guys want to see win this game, the Bucks or the Nets? I want to hear from our fans. But this is just fun. I had to go live because it's been going back and forth this whole quarter. So
the whole game has been unbelievable. At one point, I saw you retweeted the tweet in the first quarter. They went to commercial with the Nets having a 3-point lead, saying Brooklyn in control. And I was like, what? I couldn't believe that. But yeah, the announcing in this game, I haven't even paid attention. I think it's Marv and someone else. I don't even know who's doing color. It's been terrible. I muted it like 10, 15 minutes ago.
Mark, leave and come back. I think your mic is losing us here.
Uh-oh.
You're good. It's just getting kind of staticky, crackly. Is that a word? Cracky? I don't know. Anyway, 4-point Milwaukee Bucks lead here. 47 seconds remaining. It is Nets ball. I love that 4K camera, man. It's seriously one of my favorite cameras around. So we're getting ready to start our Nets versus Bucks post game show. Again, this is a very Sixers-esque post game. We're going to just talk about our top takeaways, what it means for the Sixers if, assuming, hypothetically, major if, the Philadelphia 76ers handle business tomorrow night against the Atlanta Hawks in Game 7. But what was the call? Yes, it is net ball. So 47 seconds remaining here. Here we go, guys. This is so much fun. Guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining. If you love the Sixers, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Here we go, guys. James Harden inbounds the ball to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant drives, takes, pulls up, and nails the pull-up jumper over PJ Tucker. God damn it, he's so good.
46.
I'm at 38 seconds. Where are you at?
30 seconds.
I can't even tell anymore. Yeah, 30 seconds. So we're right there. Bucks got a 2-point lead. My God. Middleton pulls
Rebound!
up. Oh. Drew Holiday gets the offensive board.
6-second difference on the shot clock.
Why didn't they reset the shot clock?
No, I think they did to 14.
No foul. It's a strip out of bounds. It is Milwaukee Bucks basketball. 2 seconds remaining. What's going on here? On my end, it says there's 2 seconds on the shot clock.
That's on the shot clock, yeah. 2 seconds on the shot clock, 7.9 on the game. Blake's asking for a review. It looks like they're getting it, or someone called a timeout. I don't know. I don't have the sound on.
Whew.
Damn, that Middleton 3 was close to going down. Middleton and Drew, I don't know what I need to look at the stats. I don't know what they ended up at. They were 6 for 32 like a half hour ago or so. They both have made a couple shots down the stretch.
They are 7 of 12 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Wow.
Combined. Talk about stepping up, man. Sixers, if you're watching, it'd be nice to have a couple secondary guys step up like Drew and Chris Middleton in the fourth quarter. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of the Sixers. So our guys step up in the first 3 quarters, and then in the fourth, it's a nightmare. But
no one wants to step up.
and this is just a note. This isn't even really Sixer-centric note, but Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think people have just gotten sick of him over the last couple of years because he hasn't won. So they got 8 seconds here to make something happen and change that narrative. But no matter what happens here, I don't want to hear any nonsense about Giannis being a fraud after this game. This guy has been unbelievable in this game and in this series in general. And I don't know why he attracts so much. I think it's a similar thing to Ben, obviously on a way different scale because he's way better. But I think it's just like, oh, he can't shoot. Everyone should be able to shoot, but he's just impacts the game on so many ways. He's an unbelievable player. He's
been ridiculous in this second half.
Unbelievable.
He had 16 points in the third quarter. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So again, 109-107. Milwaukee Bucks have the lead here. Please like, subscribe if you're watching. 8 seconds remaining. We'll know who wins or heads to the Eastern Conference Finals here in just a few moments. But this is ridiculous. What a amazing Game 7. I'm watching this game and I'm praying to God that this doesn't happen to the Sixers against the Hawks. Like, if this is a similar situation for us tomorrow night, I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna straight have a heart attack.
Seriously,
I'll be dead live on camera. All right, inbounds the ball. Lopez, not the possession we wanted. So KD's gonna get. Oh my God, I'm already panicking.
Oh my God.
Here we go. 6 seconds. Shot clock violation on the Milwaukee Bucks. What happened there? Pass the ball, Drew. No, it was Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
Or no one moving without the ball. There's clearly miscommunication on the Bucks.
They should have called timeout there.
Yeah, who should have done what? But here we are. 6 seconds remaining, guys, in the game. We have Eric saying hi. What's going on, Eric? Thanks for joining. We have Brian saying Katie winning this.
Yeah. As cowardly as this is, I would almost just fail. I would just be like, don't let him shoot a three.
It's 100% KD. I mean, he's been absolutely unbelievable this entire game. Hitting shots, finishing through contact, hitting contested shots. He is unbelievable. Words can't describe my amount of respect for KD. But how fitting would it be to have it be James Harden, who, struggled the first 2 games and struggled in the first half and really kind of found his rhythm here in the second half. That would not make me feel good as a Sixers fan, no doubt about it. But
I would be happy to see anyone, in terms of my rooting for Milwaukee here, I'd be happy to see anyone take the shot except for Kevin Durant.
All right.
Oh my God, from Brian Baker, so I'm sure that's a game-winning 3 coming on the way. Oh man.
God, I love that 4K camera. It's so sick.
Yeah, I won't look at the chat. I'm gonna full screen.
All right, here we go. 6 seconds remaining. I can't even. Oh my God.
They're so gonna hit a 3. Oh my God, just don't let them hit a 3. Yeah, KD receives it from 3. Pulls up.
Ball.
Bang. 1 second left.
Pulls up. Oh. Please tell me that wasn't a 3.
I think it's a 2. They're saying it's 2.
Tell me his foot was on the line. Please
they're
tell
saying
me
2 right now.
On the line.
Oh. They're ruling a 2. I'm sure they'll review it.
Please, for the love of God, tell me that foot was on the line. Are you freaking serious right now? Are you serious?
They're reviewing. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That was the most obvious thing. It was just so obvious that was going to happen.
Eric says,
it's so close. It's so close.
Yeah, I know. Look at his left foot. His left foot's on the line. His left foot's on the line.
Yeah, you're right. You can't overturn that for sure. It's definitely on the line. It is like a half inch on that line. Oh my God. That's like the confetti game. Oh my God.
So the Nets inbound the ball. KD dribbles like a foot inside the 3-point line. Takes a step back, turns around, pulls it, and makes a long-range 2-point shot that was about half a toe from being a 3-point shot, which would have given the Brooklyn Nets a 110-109 lead over the Milwaukee Bucks. So right now it's going to be called, oh my God, a 109-109 basketball game. 1 second remaining here for the Milwaukee Bucks. There's no way that's a 3-point. So we're waiting for the official announcement, at least on my end. But it is likely heading to overtime unless, I don't know, something miraculous happens. We will see. But 1 second remaining. Oh, my God.
You got to think Middleton.
It's got to be Middleton or Drew.
Middleton's hit a bunch of. I feel like Middleton's hit a bunch of buzzer beaters in the regular season. Not that has any correlation, but
unbelievable, man.
I'm like shaking over here. Oh my God, I can't believe that.
Like I said, I don't want any of this noise for the Sixers tomorrow night. I want a nice, calm, easy win. But given
it's not happening.
It's not happening. All right, here we go, guys. Drew Holiday is about to inbound the ball. 1 second remaining. What do you do?
It's got to be Middleton, especially if Drew's inbounding. It's got to be.
It's got to be Middleton off a screen.
Forbes, maybe. Forbes has a quick shot.
I like that idea.
They're looking for Middleton. Oh, Giannis. What the hell was that? That was terrible. That was the worst. Are you kidding me, Coach Bud?
All right, we're going to overtime. That was not great.
Man, momentum is all the way on Brooklyn's side here heading into overtime there.
Freaking Kevin Durant, man. That was a career-defining shot by another one by Kevin Durant. He's one of the best players of all time. That's my nightmare. That's my nightmare. It's like going against Russell Wilson. Like every time, like for the Eagles. Like it's like every time he's going to make that shot.
Last year when I was first doing my podcast, we did our top 40 NBA players of all time post ABA merger, and I had Kevin Durant, I believe 7th of all time. And it's my top 6. Hashtag roast me out there in the comments, but this is from a year ago. But my top 6 was LeBron 1, MJ 2, Kareem 3, Duncan 4, Shaq 5, Magic 6, KD 7.
I respect it for sure. Shaq is my favorite player of all time.
He's one of mine as well.
I would definitely rank Duncan and Shaq right in that range, same range. 2 of my favorite players. Eric says, where can I watch? It's on TNT right now. But I'm surprised, Allen Iverson didn't make that top 6.
Where do I have AI at? AI, I have 27. I have AI at 27. Yeah,
good spot. It's a good spot.
I have the ones that people were all upset about last year were people were upset that I had Larry Bird at 8. Oh yeah, there's the other big one, Kobe. People were upset that I had Kobe at number 13. But
That's super fair. No,
yeah, I think it. Yeah, people think me saying someone is the 13th best basketball player that's ever played the sport, and it's like, are you kidding me? I think that's crazy. Like, there's no name I have above Kobe that should kill anyone. Like, outside that top 7, it's Larry Bird 8, Hakeem 9, Julius Erving at 10, Steph Curry at 11, Moses Malone at 12, and then Kobe Bryant at 13.
What was Kevin Durant in that second half? He was 17 of 30 in the second half.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
That's crazy. All right, let's look in the fourth quarter. What did KD do in the fourth quarter? He was 6 of 11 in the fourth quarter. It's amazing. It's straight amazing. Let's get ready for overtime. Bucks and Nets are heading to overtime. We're about to react. I just got tip off. Where you at?
Yeah, 452, 451.
Awesome. All right, here we go. Curry better than Kobe.
I had him 2 spots above.
That is all right. Nets get on the board first here, 111 to 109. Let's go Bucks. Let's go Bucks. Come on, guys. Let's get it going here. Like you said, Mark, all momentum on the Brooklyn Nets side after that huge game-tying bucket with seconds remaining by Kevin Durant. Just an unbelievable shot. Kevin Durant is dribbling it up off the court. He pulls up. He misses it. Rebound goes to Giannis. Giannis brings up the ball, passes it to Jrue Holiday, and he misses the three. Wide open three. All right, only 2 points scored here in the overtime. 111 to 109. Brooklyn Nets have the lead. James Harden has the ball. Jrue Holiday defending him. Pick and rolls, gets switched. Nice defense by the Bucks. Step back free by Harden.
No.
Badly.
Rebound.
Badly. Nice. All right, Jrue Holiday to Giannis. Gets stripped. Bucks ball. 3:31 remaining here. 2-point lead for the Brooklyn Nets.
A big reason that you want to see the Bucks win here from a Sixers perspective too is the Bucks have a lot of Sixers in them.
Where's the foul on that?
Yeah, I know. This is crazy.
Oh.
The officiating has been so bad in the NBA the last couple days.
Man. It's so bad. Oh my gosh.
I don't know if you watched the Jazz Clippers game. They were keeping the Jazz in that game 100% when they were trying to melt down.
We have Waddy saying Giannis is better than Durant. Go Bucks. Go Bucks. By the way, we're Sixers fans. No way. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's the back of the
rebound. Oh, God damn it. You got to get a rebound, Milwaukee.
Yeah. Any Sixers fan is fully aware of long rebounds. They kill you, man. They absolutely kill you. Nice defense by the Bucks. Oh, and you get another offensive board. And another offensive board. Oh my God.
Brook Lopez playing great defense tonight.
Yeah, the Bucks are a great defensive team. Oh my God, I thought that was
on the floor.
I think that's shooting. It should be. My goodness, we have Waddy saying go Bucks.
I wasn't sure.
We are rooting for the Bucks here. We're Sixers fans. We are rooting for the Bucks. Go Bucks, baby. Fear the deer.
And then even from like a beyond Sixers fan perspective, for me, I have the gambling. I have the Bucks to win the series, and then also I've always been a Giannis for Nets, really.
Blake Griffin.
Rebound for Giannis.
Blake Griffin pump fakes, drives, and misses. Giannis gets the board. Jrue Holiday dribbles the ball up here on the court. Oh, my God. 2-point lead Nets. Not a lot of scoring here in overtime. Just a lot of missing. Speaking of missing, Jrue Holiday misses a pull-up jumper. This is not going great for the Bucks. Offense has truly – I don't think they've scored at all in this overtime.
3 minutes without scoring for the Bucks. But the thing that's similar to the Sixers like that, when the Sixers play so badly, sometimes it feels like they should be down 20. The Bucks right now in overtime feel like they should be down 6 to 8 points, and they're only down 2. So it's crazy that they're still in this game after having no points 3 minutes into overtime. PJ Tucker fouling out. Is that a T?
I don't know. He's going off. I missed it. It seems he's going. I don't know if he's going off over a T or going off.
They call it a foul.
He's kind of flailing a little bit. He's trying to sell on Griffin. Yeah, he's trying to sell it on Blake Griffin, and all right. I see it, PJ Tucker. I see.
Yep.
Tucker has fouled out. 111 to 109. Nets got the lead. KD on Chris Middleton. Great double team by the Bucks. Out to Harden for 3. He bricks it front rim. And to Brook Lopez. Giannis brings it up the court here. Come on, Bucks. Finish, baby. Brook Lopez. Was that jump ball? Oh, Jesus. Man, it looks like the Sixers offense right now.
Seriously.
Come on, man. You gotta finish that, bro. That was a good pass. Brook Lopez and Durant and Brook Lopez grab it. And it is a jump ball. KD versus Brook Lopez. Come on, man. Come on.
It's the Barclays Center. It's the house Brook Lopez.
Losing you, bro.
Yeah, I had a Wi-Fi skip out there.
It's all good. All right, Lopez about to tip off against KD. Here we go, guys. Here we go. I don't even know where to call that. I guess it is Bucks ball. 1:30 remaining, 16 seconds remaining on the shot clock. I feel like Mark Zumoff right now.
You're doing good play-by-play.
No, I'm not. Mark Zumoff is a god.
Oh, he's a silver fox.
I don't know what that's
Giannis going to the line.
All right, make your free throws, buddy. Did you see that air ball?
Oh, man, yeah. What's he shooting tonight from the line?
I'll tell you in a second.
Because I know he got in a rhythm.
8 of 14. He started out much worse than that, though.
Yeah, I think he was like 3 of 7.
All right, guys, be sure to like and comment and subscribe here. We're going to be, reacting to this game and then kind of just, give our quick reactions to what it means for the Sixers as they head into Game 7 with the Atlanta Hawks. This is a ton of fun, man. This is a ton of fun. I love this.
I would suggest doing it tomorrow for the Sixers, but I don't think I can be held accountable for what I would say during a Game 7 in the fourth quarter, live on air. Oh.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'll be losing my mind.
Oh, yeah. We'll probably be doing that. Or at least just me. What just happened? Like, Brook Lopez spin moves and loses control of the ball. I hope it's on the nets.
Yeah,
it's out on the nets.
They called it out on the nets. I'm sure they're going to review it.
It was
out on KD, yeah.
Yeah, it hit KD's foot. I thought that was Lopez for a second. Thank God. Whew.
It's also probably got to be a block or a charge there, but they're letting him play a little bit.
Oh.
You think Rick Carlisle's just like waiting to see if Milwaukee loses to see if he's taking this job?
100%. All right. Bucks are down 2 with 1:21 remaining. Man, it feels like just a second ago the Bucks were up with what, like 4? like 30 seconds remaining, but here we are. 1:21 remaining. Can Giannis lead the Bucks to beat Kevin Durant? That is the biggest question right now. Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton had an unbelievable fourth quarter after flailing the previous quarters. Here we go. Kevin Durant is posting up, facing up on Kevin Durant. He got it. He gets it done. 111 to 111, tie game. 1 minute left. Here we go, guys.
Chris Middleton hounding KD at the half court. He got a step on him. Brook Lopez with the block.
Lopez.
No Harris for 3. Misses. Rebound. Brook Lopez in the Barclays Center. The house Brook Lopez built.
One of the biggest blocks in Bucks history. Period.
Game 7 history.
All right. Chris Middleton pulls, turns around. Jumper is good. Jumper is good. The Bucks take a 2-point lead, 113 to 111. 40 seconds remaining.
They're going nuts in Wisconsin. They're going nuts. There's so much beer in Wisconsin. They might run out tonight if they win.
Oh, man. Call that man Cheddar because that turnaround jumper by Chris Middleton was nothing but good, man. That was awesome. All right, guys. Bucks got the lead here. What a stretch. What a block by Brook Lopez on Kevin Durant. The statement, probably the play of the game, at least for me. I mean, there's been so many plays. But you saw the Milwaukee Bucks truly struggle to get any kind of offense. You look at defense leading the offense led by Brook Lopez. That was an amazing play. Oh, my God.
And like I said when it was going dark, everything was going bad for 3 straight minutes, and they were only down 2 points. They were only down 2 points. That's what you have to do in a game like this. You have to maintain the runs that you're not doing well on offense, defensively. And if you're giving up a lot of points defensively, you have to keep it up on offense. You can't give any huge runs, i.e. what the Sixers seem to do at least once per game, even in the games that they win. But this has been an amazing game. You look at Milwaukee, Giannis makes a huge hook shot there. Chris Middleton with a huge turnaround jumper. Brook Lopez with a huge block.
Oh, my God.
Everyone stepping up to do their part and to step up. Bruce Brown playing 51 minutes in a game 7 is not something I'm sure most people had at the beginning of the year.
Look at that. And what's funny, what's so ironic about that is like Giannis was like sucking wind, man, here like early into the second quarter. Like he was done. He looked out. But here we are. So here we go.
40 seconds left inbounding.
Nets are getting ready to inbound. Kevin Durant takes Middleton off the dribble, pulls up, and front rim.
Giannis rebound.
Giannis gets the board, goes to Middleton, dribbles it up the court.
9-second difference.
25 seconds remaining. The Bucks have a 2-point lead, 113-111. Middleton backs out. Giannis sets the screen, turn around, pull up, Jay. Oh,
they should have called a timeout.
Kevin Durant.
10 seconds left.
Gives it to KD. 7 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. 3 seconds remaining. Pull up. Air ball! Airball's in.
23 seconds. The Bucks are gonna win.
Oh my God!
Coach Bud might have a job next year.
Oh my! Great defense by Drew Holiday. Not enough can be emphasized. Drew Holiday did not. Oh, that was close. Great defense by Drew Holiday. Kevin Durant misses the game-tying shot, a low percentage, but that was the shot he made to take it to overtime. Kevin Durant holds his head down. Drew Holiday is giving fist pumps. The Milwaukee Bucks are getting ready to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Wow.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
This has been one game, man. One hell of a
all the people, Giannis, the apology better be as loud as the disrespect.
My goodness. I'm exhausted. That was fun.
Wow. This is an all-time game right here.
All right. 0.3 seconds remaining. Bucks ball, 113-111. Just chuck the ball middle of the court. Like this game's over.
No offensive fouls. Yeah.
There's nothing the Nets can do here. My goodness, man! What a performance by the Bucks here in the second half. Who struggled a little bit in the first half, but really, truly kind of set the tone there in the third quarter. Here we go. Bucks get the W. Move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Giannis beats Kevin Durant. What a great game. A game for the ages. A game for the ages that people are going to be watching for a long time when it comes to, 10, 15, 20 years from now, talking about Giannis and Kevin Durant. Just an unbelievable. This is like, you know what I think about this game? I think about like Ray Allen versus Allen Iverson. Like, not there. Obviously, these two players are definitely better than those two guys, but that's what I mean. Like, as fans of these respective teams, like that. What a great back and forth, epic game it was between these two amazing players.
I was going to say, even back in the 80s, I always hear stories from my dad and stories from people about Larry Bird versus Dominique in the second round. I think they had a game in game 7 or maybe even game 5, wherever. They think Larry scored like 50, Neek scored 40. And people always talk about that like, oh my God, those two going head to head. What did they end up with there? KD and Giannis? KD and Giannis went absolutely nuts there. Both players. No one should be clowned for losing this game. Like, Brooklyn should not be made fun of that they didn't get to the conference finals. I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of that because just of how good of a roster they have, how many good players they have. But especially without Kyrie, there's no shame in losing to the Milwaukee Bucks. There's no shame in losing to Giannis. This is a huge – I'm not a huge person to throw around legacy in the moment because it's really hard to judge in the moment. But this is huge for Giannis. There's no sugarcoating it. This is the biggest moment of his career.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. What are we waiting on? Players are hugging. There's something was reviewed. The game's not over yet. So I'm not sure. Yeah, Brook Lopez is at the free throw line.
Yeah. I think Brooklyn might have fouled. But
wow. What a huge performance by Chris Middleton here, and Drew Holiday in that second half, who were dead to rights. They were so bad. They were so bad to start this game. There it is. Brook Lopez hits the free throw, 114 to 111. Here we go. We're still waiting for this game to end. Oh, man, was this something.
Man, I can't emphasize enough about, I'm sure we're going to talk about this, like how happy we are that Milwaukee won for Sixers purposes. I can't emphasize enough that if we win, this is not a given yet. Like, we have a game 7 tomorrow that I know we're 8-point favorites right now in Vegas, which is insane to me. Crazy. Insane. If you're taking Sixers -8, you have a mental health problem. Like, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Like, I don't know what to say about Sixers -8. That line seems insane to me. I hope it's a blowout. I hope we cover an 8-point spread. I don't see it. I think it's going to be last minute of the game within 100%. One possession.
Easily. Robert California is joining. What's going on, Robert? Thank you so much for joining. He says they called a foul on James Harden. We can beat the Bucks. This is huge. Ben Butler says this is huge. The Milwaukee Bucks win 115 to 111 final overtime. One of the all-time best playoff games I've ever seen. Just back and forth, nonstop, all game long. Milwaukee wins the series 4-3. Await the winners of the Sixers and Hawks, who play tomorrow, Game 7, tomorrow night. Matt McGinty, my man, again says, when the Nets get healthy, just never came true. Wow.
I have a point about that too. I have a point about that because obviously Kyrie is the biggest thing, the biggest asterisk to this. Everyone's going to use that. I'm sure the Nets fans, the all 15 of them, are going to use that as an excuse that's why they lost this series. But it's also, you look at Spencer Dinwiddie. If they would have had a guy like Dinwiddie in this game, that would have been huge. If they would have had a guy like LaMarcus Aldridge who had to retire midseason, that would have been huge. But just something I want to push back on, because I've heard a couple people in Sixers group chats of mine say, this is our best chance to win, especially if the Nets lose, because the Nets are going to win next year. Just like it's a foregone conclusion. If people can use against us that Joel Embiid's never going to be healthy in the playoffs, and we can't use that as an excuse because he's never healthy in the playoffs, the Nets can never again be like, oh, we'll have our big three in the playoffs. Kevin Durant had a massive injury 2 years ago. He stayed healthy all year. That's probably, that's great and all. I don't know if that's going to happen every single year. James Harden obviously had an issue with the same had the same injury 2 times this year. Who knows if that'll act up in the future? Kyrie gets hurt every single year, if it's the regular season or the playoffs. So I don't know if they're ever going to have that big three healthy and ready. Who knows?
You never know. You never know. And you saw that from the jump. And that was, how many watch parties did we do? How many post-game shows did we do when, we get all this James Harden bullshit for Ben Simmons, the Nets, oh my God, the Nets. We heard it all season long. And we confronted that headstrong all season long. How do you know? Like, how do you know? These are 3 players with injury histories. These are 3 players that are phenomenal, but these are also 3 players that are heading home to play golf for the next several months because the Milwaukee Bucks move on. We've got let the Inferno saying I'd rather play the Bucks. Gint says the Bucks have to have Atlanta jerseys on 100%. You're right. No doubt about that. Ben says fully healthy Harden would have helped. Blake was okay for them. Robert California says this is the most wide open NBA title has been in years. I truly believe anybody is this a hot take? I don't know, Mark. Whoever wins the Bucks Sixers Bucks/Hawks series wins the title. I do believe that. I do think the Sixers have it in line. The planets are aligning. They just have to get Ben, most notably, Tobias Harris. Hopefully that second half translates to game 7. They have to get their heads out of the ass. And the big three has to lead the way. They have to play significant minutes like we saw from the starters of the Bucks and the Nets here in game 7. The Sixers starters have to lead the way. But let's talk a little bit about the Bucks. Giannis, 27 plus per game in the playoffs. Struggled from 3. Chris Middleton, 23 plus per game in the playoffs. Drew Holiday, only 15 plus, but plays underrated defense. You got to start off with the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a team that had the best defensive rating in the NBA playoffs, 101.5. They had the fourth most ISO possessions as a team. Not great though, 46th percentile. They had the 4th lowest pick and roll. So like we saw tonight, it's not a pick and roll team. This is not an ISO team. But what they do is they do post you up. This is a Milwaukee Bucks team that will post you up. This is a Milwaukee Bucks team, 28th. Post-up percentage actually 7.8%, which is 3rd most, but 28th percentile, 0.74 points per possession. So the only thing I got here is that they drive to the basket a lot, 45.1, 3rd best. Field goal percentage driving to the basket. But by the way, they also average the most turnovers per game out of every team in the NBA playoffs. What's up, Austin? How you doing, man?
What's going on, everybody? It's nice to be back for time in a while.
My gosh, we were reacting to this entire last 2 minutes of the 4th quarter, the overtime, the Milwaukee Bucks heroics. The Kevin Durant heroics in the 4th quarter, and then the miss in overtime. What's your quick takeaway from this Nets versus Bucks game 7, Austin?
My quick takeaway is I think it's a good lesson as to the value of having depth that you can trust, and a good lesson that sure your best players can play a deviation above what they usually play in terms of minutes in a game 7, but it's just really hard it's a very tough gamble and risk to take to just say we're going to throw you out there for an entire game and just try to win it. Kevin Durant, they were able to do it once, Kevin Durant, and it was one of the greatest performances of his career, which tells you how rare it is considering he's how incredible has Kevin Durant been, and the fact that was the hallmark performance of his career. He played the entire game, so you really aren't supposed to play all those minutes, and it really hurt the Nets in the end of this game. Kevin Durant ended the game flat, on that shot. It was a tough shot. I didn't think the Nets got really a good look, but there's the value of depth, and sure. They were injured. They didn't have Kyrie. Harden was hurt, but they had one more guy that was healthy, that had fresh legs. They probably would have won that game.
Right. We have Robert saying Sixers are best in physical games down low. Embiid is going to sit on Giannis's court. The Bucks actually had the 4th most post-ups per game in the playoffs this year. Let's go on to just general thoughts. Sixers versus Bucks. Hypothetically, if the Sixers take care of business tomorrow night, what's your quick thoughts on this series, Mark?
I have 2 quick thoughts. One, I would just like to say that I've been saying that this would happen. The Bucks were going to beat the Nets. I know I got help with the Kyrie injury, so it's nice to see a prediction that I've been. So that was the first thing I did on the painted lines was my bold take that the Nets wouldn't make the conference finals if they played the Bucks or the Sixers in the second round. And it's nice to see that come through. Obviously, I had the help with the Kyrie injury. And then the second thing, Ben Simmons has to be more happy than anyone in the world to see, in terms of the Sixers, to see the Bucks advance if we win tomorrow. I'm sure that they're all watching, though. I'm sure Ben Simmons is happier than anyone because a little bit of the free throw drama is going to get taken off of Ben's shoulders because Giannis has the same drama. And I'm sure that if again, I'm going to say this a million times, if the Sixers win Game 7, I'm sure that Philly crowd with that countdown against Giannis is going to be absolutely insane. Those are my two thoughts.
What if like both Ben and Giannis shoot 32% from the free throw line?
Can
we do hacky Giannis? Can we
honestly, you might want to consider doing that. Like just throwing like Mike Scott for a couple of possessions, just commit 4 fouls in like 20 seconds and
put in B-ball Paul for like literally a minute and just let him just hack a Giannis.
Or like conversely, like Ben figures it out and Giannis shoots 32% and Ben is like at 64%. You're just like, okay, I'll take that.
By the way, so here's how Ben Simmons has defended Giannis in his career. It has done pretty well. That being said, the Bucks have gotten a lot of W's over the Sixers in recent history. But Ben has absolutely handled Giannis rather well. There was a tweet there saying like when the Bucks took the lead, I don't know who it was. I'm watching highlights of the game here, and that James Harden bank 3-pointer shot was absolutely crazy. But anyway, how about a Ben Simmons versus Giannis free throw competition like at halftime, and whoever wins, that team gets can give away 10 free Frosties or something like that. That'd be really, really fun. But anyway, here we go. That is kind of Ben versus Giannis. Any other, how do you see this series rolling? Because this is clearly one of the best defensive teams in the NBA playoffs. The Sixers, the offense has kind of stalled against the Atlanta Hawks, especially in terms of offensive efficiency. Is that any concern for you guys? And, how do we assuming we win on Sunday night, it's a big assumption. The Hawks are playing great. Trae Young is playing great. But let's look, ahead and, break this down. Austin, how do the Sixers match that defensive intensity from the Milwaukee Bucks?
Chris, I got to tell you, there is no equity left in me for the Sixers. I have no idea. I'm just, I'm here. I'm here to cover Game 7 tomorrow. That's all. That's all I'm here for.
We are purely reacting. It's a ton of fun. So, by the way, the Sixers lose. My fear is Drew Holiday locking up Seth Curry, and there's nothing left on this Sixers offense at all. That is my biggest concern, because the Sixers 2-man game, literally between Joel and Seth, has been kind of had some positives, but mostly negatives in terms of producing an efficient offense. Any thoughts on that, Mark?
Well, Dobbs, never fear, because Tyrese Maxey is here, he's an X factor. I mean, obviously, I was saying that about Shake Milton after game. All the games run together at this point. Whatever game Shake Milton was great in, Game 2, I think. I was saying that because Shake Milton and Tyrese Maxey have an ability on this team that no one else really has to get to the hole at will if they want, and they're not afraid, for lack of a better term. They're not afraid to go get a bucket, and that's huge. And if Maxey or Milton are going well, that's such a huge thing for this team. And right now it's looking like it's Maxey.
We literally said that after the Wizards series. We said the same freaking thing after the Wizards series. Oh, maybe Doc tightens up his rotations, and this is how we look heading into the Atlanta Hawks. Here, sure enough, it's the same freaking thing heading into Game 7, Atlanta versus Philadelphia, and Tyrese Maxey is looking great once he gets the minutes. So it's a lot to kind of assess. But let's talk about X Factor, because, heading into a series against the Brooklyn Nets, my X Factor has always been Matisse Thybulle. Where does that go? Is it Tyrese? What is your thoughts on, when it comes to matchups with the Milwaukee Bucks? Austin, where are you at with your biggest X Factor against the Milwaukee Bucks?
Biggest X Factor against the Milwaukee Bucks is I guess it's got to be Tobias, right? I mean, listen, we have no reason to, believe that Ben Simmons is going to snap out of this rut that he's in. It's just the way it is. The only saving grace is that Giannis is kind of similar to Ben in that respect, but that Giannis will actually shoot his team out of the game, whereas Ben Simmons won't shoot and it'll take his team out of the game. So it's kind of the way it works there. Tobias Harris. I mean, listen, you're going to need additional shot creation because the Nets or the Bucks they theoretically have that in Drew Holiday, but I mean, listen, I wouldn't be afraid of a drop coverage in this series. I mean, Drew, he's not the same fluid, quick step player that Trae Young is. And so, I think that that's something that you can exploit a little bit. I also just kind of think it's going to be a matter of contesting threes and contesting corner threes and being really disciplined in that. I think the Sixers have been very good at that for the most part in this series right now, but they're gonna need an additional shot creator, on the floor to win the series, just to get some extra balance into the offense. And I think Tyrese Maxey is that guy in some respects, but listen, there's not gonna be that much longer that he's not on team scouting reports. If he comes out tomorrow and puts on a show, the Bucks and their advanced scouts are going to be saying, "Well, we got to plan for this kid because that's their secret weapon." And then they're gonna have that countered by the end of the first game that Maxey is going off. So you're going to need one of your veterans step up, and that's got to be Tobias Harris.
My biggest, before I throw it to Mark, my biggest X factor, and this is probably a cop out, but it is Joel Embiid. And you know why? Because Brook Lopez has relatively handled Joel Embiid. No, Joel Embiid has kind of been handled by Brook Lopez. Dude, the last 4 or 5 games, he's shooting 42% from the field against Brook Lopez. He has 7 turnovers. He hasn't hit 10 or more free throw attempts in a single game. So Brook Lopez has done his job against Joel Embiid. He's got the ability to kind of space the floor a little bit. He's got the size, that physical, that strength that Joel Embiid has historically struggled against in terms of bigs. So I'm, as crazy as it sounds, that's a tough matchup for Joel, at least over the last 4 years. So I'm going to go Joel. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I have 2 points. The one just regarding Austin's X factor being Tobias, and that there's a lot of truth to that. And not only on offense, it's going to be important to see what Tobias Harris is like on defense. A lot of the times in this Atlanta series, I have felt like he's been a step slow, especially when he gets switched on to a guy like Bogdan or obviously a guy like Trae Young. Even a guy like Kevin Huerter at times has made Tobias look a step slow. And I don't know how he'll do against a guy like Middleton if he's on him, how he'll do against a guy like Giannis. I'm sure that there will be moments where he's switched on to Giannis. And I thought that might be a matchup that wouldn't kill us in the past because all year long, Tobias has been really good at defending bigs. Now, Giannis is a special type of big, and he's not necessarily your prototypical big, but that's going to be a huge X factor to see, not just if Tobias is able to bring what we expect offensively, but if he's able to provide that defensive on the other end as well. But then my X factor is kind of, in terms of the Sixers, it's kind of the same stuff I've been complaining about all year long. And it's really just been the main thing is this. I said it before. I don't know if Austin heard the stat. The Sixers played 5 guys off the bench yesterday for 74 minutes. And then you look at Game 7 tonight, the Nets played 18 minutes of guys off the bench, and it was only 2 dudes. And then Brooklyn played 28 minutes off the bench, only 2 dudes. They need to tighten their rotations up. There's no argument for Dwight playing anymore. I'm sorry, everyone's gonna like. I'm skipping out, so I'll head out.
I agree with that. I don't think there's much room in the rotation for guys right now. But at the same time, like we just watched the Nets run out of gas because they didn't have enough guys like contributing because they needed Kevin Durant and James Harden to do literally everything for them, and Blake Griffin. So I mean, it's a good point, but like the simple fact of the matter is the hope and the idea of oh, you can just carry us for a whole game, right? Like, no, they're people. Like I get winded playing basketball. They're gonna get winded. They're playing NBA basketball. Joel's gonna be carrying double teams all night long. Tobias is gonna be trying to soften up some of that workload. Ben's gonna be doing whatever the hell Ben's doing. And, you have to be able to trust some of your guys, even if it's for 7 minutes total. You have to be able to give your guys a little bit of a breather, so that way they can be fresh down the stretch. You just have to. And
case in point, like this game 7, Nets versus Bucks.
Right.
Like Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton could not hit the back of a ball like with a beach ball. Like they were struggling, like 4 of 22 combined at one point through the third quarter. And sure enough, in that fourth quarter, they finished 7 of 12 from the floor. They stepped up. That's what the Sixers need, especially in that fourth quarter, which is troubling because the Sixers have been routinely a very good fourth quarter team. They have the best point differential in the NBA all season long. So that's what we're talking about. It's either been Seth, it's either been Joel. It's been a truly shit show, to be honest, in terms of Doc Rivers' system. Just give the ball to Joel, let him, get to the basket, and everyone just stand still. It has been really difficult to watch, but that's what the Sixers need. The Sixers need other guys to step up, like Tobias, who has shown it again and again all season long. Mark, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I think I'm better off. I don't think it's a mic issue. I think it's a Wi-Fi issue. So I'm right next to my router now. But my whole point with I know I'm so frustrated right now. But my whole point.
Villanova hat. It's probably the Villanova hat.
Yeah, it's cursing me. But the only point that I really made, I'm not trying to say I want Ben Simmons playing 48 minutes, Joel Embiid playing 48 minutes. There are ways to tinker with this lineup. Like you said, Dwight's only playing 8 minutes. It's just statistically proven at this point that it doesn't work. It's not working. Every game we lose, Dwight is no less than a -15. His net rating is massively negative. And then when you're hoping to put Tobias on with the bench lineup, and the net rating gets worse because Tobias isn't a willing enough shooter to lead that bench lineup, which is taking such an L with Dwight offensively, especially on the offensive rating. And it's just proven that working Ben out at center would be the correct path here. And then a guy like George Hill isn't even looking at the rim. Like there was so many moments in that game last game. He ended up actually being pretty positive on plus minus. But there were so many moments in that game where it was like wide open three, I'm going to dribble 2 steps in and pass it, or wide open three, I'm just going to swing it again. And he was brought here to obviously control the bench lineup and run point guard on the bench lineup, but he was also an amazing spot up shooter for the last decade. And he was a willing spot up shooter for the last decade. His per 36 minutes, like his 3 points attempted, are like the lowest of his career by far. And then you look at the playoffs and they're like half that. And it's just insane to see how unwilling of a shooter George Hill is. And he can't play 20-plus minutes a game. If that's the case, every minute George Hill is playing is a minute that Matisse isn't playing defensively or Tyrese Maxey isn't giving us a spark offensively. 2 games ago, Tyrese Maxey played 1 minute. Like, what are we doing with this bench rotation? It seems like it's just game to game, whatever Doc's feeling in the moment. And it seems like he has absolutely no regard for any sort of lineup data that's been shoved in front of his face. And we've seen that with him playing Ben, Matisse, Dwight lineups all year and continuously in the playoffs. I don't know how many times Doc has to see something before he adjusts. I know he adjusted some things last game, and that's huge, but he's blown a series in the playoffs every year since 2009, and we're seeing why.
And I just want to play devil's advocate. He did get Shake right. He did get the Shake call right. Any take on that, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of think like this bench is just not that great to begin with. And I mean, all the things that we're talking about here, these are flawed players. Like Ben Simmons, the whole reason part of the reason why the Ben Simmons, Dwight Howard, and T. Stiebel lineup doesn't work is because, none of the 3 can shoot. you know,
One
one of them, is not aggressive enough as a scorer. These are all things that like like a bench that is well built is not going to have that issue. So I don't necessarily blame Doc for all of it, but I just think like he has generally done a pretty good job feeling out the rotations. Like he was very quick with Maxey in Game 6. He was very quick to pull Ben at bad moments in Game 6. He was masterful in Game 5 against the Wizards. Obviously, the Wizard series is irrelevant because that team had no chance. But I just kind of feel like, yes, the history has not been kind to Doc, but at the same time, like the Clippers team last year didn't have like a point guard, and they were it was a very wacky situation in the bubble. I'm not making excuses for them, but I mean there are things there that make it a little bit like harder to just evaluate in a vacuum like that. And like the Clippers, like the previous Clippers tenures, Chris Paul misses an entire series, they're done. Blake Griffin misses an entire series, they're done. I was rewatching the Houston Clippers series where Doc's team was up 20 points and lost at home in Game 6.
Josh Smith,
right. Like generally speaking, it wasn't like he wasn't running an offense; they were just missing open looks, and the Rockets were making shots. Like the Clippers were not fast enough to close out in those games. So I mean, it's very easy to blame the coach, but I think there's so many different factors in there that like I need 2 full seasons of data and evidence to be like, okay, this guy is the problem or he's not the problem.
I'm not saying he's entirely the problem, and I'm not saying that last year specifically is why I think he has a spotty record in the playoffs. My problem is it's been 12 straight years of him blowing a lead in terms of him. He had a 1-0 or 2-1 or 3-2 or 3-1 lead in the playoffs for 12 straight years and has lost the playoff run. Obviously, yeah, Chris Paul missed a series due to injury. Blake missed a series due to injury. Last year was weird, but even if last year was weird, this year's weird again for the Clippers, and the Clippers are in the conference finals without Kawhi Leonard. And I get that they got Reggie Jackson. They have a point guard now, but
a fraudulent 1 seed.
Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, the complete fraud Jazz. We can't go too in on the Jazz until the result of Game 7 tomorrow. But yeah. I think specifically, like with what I have a problem with, Game 5, we're blowing the biggest lead in franchise history in the playoffs or whatever it was, and Tyrese Maxey gets 1 minute. Like, there wasn't any thought in Doc's mind for 15 straight minutes to maybe get the guy who many times in the last 2 months has provided that spark when we led up with a lead or when we've been behind. He gives us a spark to get back in the game. And then last game, Matisse Thybulle, I'm by no means a guy that's saying, oh, play Matisse 30 minutes. I understand the limitations of Matisse's game, and I understand that he's better in small spurts. He's not someone who you want to play 35 minutes because his impact in 20 minutes is probably greater than his impact would be over a longer period of time because he's able to really go balls to the wall defensively. But the problem is 11 minutes is not enough. He played 11 minutes last game, and in the first quarter, he saved us. And I felt like he saved that game. I don't know what I think we were down 7 after the first.
Yeah, he had like 2 steals in the block, like within the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that was huge. Like the Hawks were going on a run, and if that wouldn't have happened, they would have gotten a couple easy buckets. And that 7-point lead after the first for the Hawks easily could have been a 13 or a 15-point lead. And that was such a huge swing. I also think he had like a huge tip that led to a 3 on the other end. It was just a huge swing. Matisse was huge in that first quarter, and then I felt like I didn't see him until the fourth. I don't know the data behind when he played. I don't think he played in the second or third though. And there were plenty of times where it felt like he could have been useful against some of the guys that were scoring on Atlanta. And it just feels like sometimes Doc forgets people are on the team. Like, I don't know what else to really say. Like, I don't know how Tyrese Maxey gets 1 minute in Game 5. I don't know how that's a defensible decision. And I don't know how Matisse gets 11 minutes last game. Again, it doesn't matter. There's no room in the win-loss column for comments. But last game we won, so it doesn't matter. But 11 minutes for Matisse, and then even Maxey, he only played 29 minutes. How is George Hill playing 20 minutes?
I mean, to be fair, Doc, like after the game, the first thing he said was, "I was at fault. I made mistakes. It's like he admitted it. Like, you know, and then he responded and made some changes in game 6. So I mean, you know, I agree. I think there was certainly times when in the second half of game 5 when like it was very clear that you needed just someone to create a little bit of offense, and Tyrese would have fit the bill. And you know, to Doc's credit, he admitted that he did not do a good job. So
yeah, and to my credit, I've been pushing for
Chris's credit.
I've been pushing. If you've been watching the preview videos I make, if you've been watching our pregame shows, if you've been watching our postgame shows, I have been pro Tyrese Maxey and just target Trae Young all series long. And I'm not talking for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, like 10, 15 possessions. I'm talking just, you know, in these spurts where Trae Young just is able to just hide from the Sixers for way too long. And you look at how Doc utilized him against Lou Williams. Lou Williams didn't have a single bucket against Tyrese Maxey in game 6. This was the first time that we've seen since truly, I think, game 6 or no, game 4 or 5 against the Washington Wizards that we've finally seen Tyrese Maxey unleashed. I don't get it, especially in a series when Tobias Harris is not exposing mismatches. The Sixers aren't, you know, taking advantage of mismatches like they should be, especially against Tobias over Kevin Huerter, Tobias against Bogdanovic, Ben against posting up against these guys. It's not happening. And especially Tyrese, who you know will 100% attack someone off the dribble like Trae Young, like Lou Williams. I just don't get it. So it was awesome to see Tyrese Maxey kind of get his, you know, time under the sun, like on the stage in game 6. But that is a major thing. I think there was a point, guys. What, Austin?
The key to the game is going to be Tyrese eating his pasta. That's really
we need to make sure Tyrese gets his pasta before game 7. That's all I'm saying.
He needs to watch Luka. Did anybody watch Luka?
No, I haven't seen it, but he needs to make sure his mom is available for a phone call too. His mom better be waiting by that phone. That's all I'm saying.
We
gotta like speakerphone Mrs. Maxey after the game. Be like, Tyrese did it.
All right. So Luka takes place in Italy, and like they're doing a competition where it's a triathlon, and part of that is to eat this giant bowl of spaghetti. And I feel like Tyrese Maxey, we could just replace him for one of the main characters in Luka, and he would just crush it because give him all the spaghetti. But Tyrese Maxey, there was a point where let's talk about matchups, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's make this Bucks-centric. How do you see Tyrese Maxey being implemented with the Bucks? Because you look at Washington, Raul Neto, Ish Smith. You look at the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young. Does Tyrese Maxey have an advantage against the Milwaukee Bucks? Any thoughts on that, Austin?
Oh yeah, I think there's like when they put Pat Connaughton in the game, that's like prime Tyrese. Like, okay, give the ball to Tyrese and get the hell out of the way. Just let like pick and roll them until they switch Connaughton on Tyrese, and then just Tyrese just go. Like it's a golden opportunity there. I think Drew Holiday would have obviously a lot of muscle mass advantage. He would have a little bit of equity in the way of a low center of gravity. And I think like obviously a very savvy guy. But I think Tyrese is going to be one of the smaller players in the series. So I think anytime you can leverage that speed and that height off the bench and just rack up a couple quick bench buckets, that's huge. So I think Tyrese definitely has a place in that series. It's going to be on his head coach to be a little bit more gratuitous and willing to let him, if he has little slumps on defense, keep going with him.
I feel like I've said the same thing after the Washington Wizards series, literally at this point in terms of the series. Like we're wrapping up the series. Hey, at least we found something with Tyrese Maxey. Let's tighten the rotations, give him more minutes, give Matisse more minutes. What about you, Mark? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, Bryn Forbes doesn't exactly strike a lot of fear in me in terms of Tyrese Maxey not being able to get by him defensively either. And then, Tyrese Maxey should be able to be absolutely fine in the series. And I also think, who knows? Maybe we'll get a Shake Milton sighting. Who knows? That's going to be, like I said, it's going to come down to one of those guys being on for us 4 times. I feel like it's hard to lose a game. I mean, obviously, we can't have Joel Embiid go like 0 for 12 in the second half, or we can't have Tobias Harris have 4 points, or we can't have Ben Simmons get cooked defensively. But there's obvious like things that would break this. But if we have one of Tyrese Maxey or Shake Milton going 4 times in a series, it's going to be hard to beat us in any of those 4 games because of how consistent most of those guys have been. Obviously, I pointed out an exact answer of inconsistency with those guys, but Joel Embiid's obviously averaging a pretty healthy stat line still. Tobias Harris stepped up again last game, and Ben Simmons, he's an enigma, but he has locked down Trey at points in the series and in crucial moments. He got that huge block yesterday. It feels like it was like 3 days ago already, but he has had moments of getting cooked, obviously, by Trey, but he has been still maybe our best option against him. So we have all of those things. So Tyrese Maxey and Shake Milton are the wild card. They're the X factor. I don't know how else to say it. I've said it a million times, but I feel like I've said that since February.
The thickest milkshake you're cutting through right there. I mean, my goodness. Shake being a wild card is a scary sight. Scary thought. But
going up against one of the best defensive teams in the league, you got to have Tyrese Maxey unleashed. You got to have him attacking, putting pressure on the defense, being able to penetrate, create for others. 100% it has to be Tyrese Maxey. But like we said, like I said the same fucking thing last series at this point. So we'll see if Doc responds and tightens up the rotation. He has to. He has to. He has to.
Is there any chance George Hill, like if, again, knocking on wood, if we win Game 7 against the Atlanta Hawks, not assuming anything, and in a Milwaukee Bucks series, do you think George Hill, if he in Game 3 against Milwaukee, would go back to the Bucks arena and be like, oh, wait, I used to shoot the basketball here. Maybe I'll do it again. Is there any chance that he'll just be like, he'll get like mentally brainwashed and be like, oh, okay, the sight lines work here for me.
That 3-pointer he made in Game 6 was like, I think the first time I've seen him make a shot. It felt like years. That's how long it felt like.
What was he in the game? He was 5 for 17 going in.
He airballed the first one. I was like, oh my god. But real quick, Anthony Hurst says, what did he say?
Which one?
Bucks are a defensive nightmare for the Sixers. I actually vehemently disagree with that. I think the Bucks are a much more favorable matchup for the Sixers defensively. There's this guy by the name of Kevin Durant, plays with Nets. really fluid, really first step, really high release on the jump shot, would be ridiculously difficult to defend in the pick and roll. As soon as you come up on him, they're going to have a lob threat there, and whoever they decided to play as the de facto center. And if you think Trae Young is giving you problems in the pick and roll, you haven't seen that Durant. So I definitely think that the Bucks, who can, by the way, go through very Sixers-y offensive lulls from time to time, are a much better matchup for the Sixers in a lot of ways. Now, having said that, they give Joel Embiid a little bit of a problem in terms of size, but you're not going to have like these just mindless, can't stop them jump shooting scorers that the Nets would have had. And if you felt like you were clenching your butt cheeks together whenever Trae Young shot the ball in this series, Nets would have been just as bad.
Yeah, go ahead. 2 points on that just real quick. Kevin Durant, and you can get at me in the comments. People were mad at me for ranking Kobe 13th overall all time earlier. Kevin Durant is the best scorer of all time. So I don't care about matchups. I don't care about would I rather the Bucks, would I rather the Nets. I would rather not play the greatest scorer in the history of the game of basketball. Sorry, Michael Jordan stands, but it's true. Kevin Durant at 6'11", aka 7 foot, is just an absolute nightmare. I said it during the game. He's the boogeyman. Me and Dobbs were absolutely positive that he was going to hit a shot to send that to overtime or win the game at the end of regulation. We knew it. Like, it wasn't even a shock. Like,
also Harden would have been the foul calling that people have been going crazy over with Trae Young. James Harden is the father of those foul calls.
Exactly.
It would have been in a lot of ways similar to the Hawks series, and maybe definitely a little bit worse because of the star power there. Also, the last time they played the Bucks, Lopez shut down Embiid. That's irrelevant because that was last year, and Embiid is a much different player than he was last year.
And then when you said the Bucks are very Sixers-y in terms of having those offensive stretches,
it's not a compliment in any stretch.
I know. But there also is a bit of a compliment to it. I don't know if you were watching us in overtime. 3 minutes went by without the Bucks even getting close to scoring a basket in overtime, and they're down by 2 points. There's a lot of that with the Sixers. The first quarter yesterday felt like a complete disaster. It was unbelievable. Like our pets' heads were falling off, and we're down 7 at the end of the first quarter. So there's a lot of that in the Bucks too. Like there's obviously you said it's not a compliment, but it is 100%. There's net positives and negatives. All right, I'm gonna head out of here officially. I thought it fixed there for a while. I didn't have any Wi-Fi issues.
Mark, you're fine. He's just a douchebag. Let's go on to.
Wait. Is this a Bucks? Is this a Bucks fan? This has got to be a Bucks fan. Maybe it's a Nets fan.
No, it's probably a Nets fan.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, I thought he was talking about me.
Buddy, it's
Mark,
okay.
You're fine.
It's okay. You're not going to have a draft pick to 2065, but it'll be okay.
Yeah. Last comment about the Bucks is that you know what has been kind of the crux of this entire series versus the Atlanta Hawks is the pick and roll. The Bucks don't run a lot of pick and roll. They're one of the lowest in terms of pick and roll rate. They're not good. And the thought process of James Harden getting back in rhythm, and Kevin Durant in the pick and roll would have been an absolute nightmare for the Philadelphia 76ers in a 7-game series. But here we are. And by the way, the Bucks are one of the worst catch and shoot teams also in the NBA playoffs too from 3. So you gotta love that. Yes, Mark.
Yeah, Danny Green. What's up with Danny Green? Krell, you got any scoops in there?
I haven't been able to get much.
Yeah.
I think an update.
I'm sure there's not much. Yeah, I'm sure there's not much info yet. I mean, it's still a new injury, but
yeah, I mean, I offered my calf. I don't know what to do. But I evaluated in a week is what we're going with right now.
Let's wrap this up. We're almost an hour. We're hour 15 plus. Austin, thank you so much for joining. Where can we find you? What do you got going on, man?
You'll find me either under a bridge somewhere after tomorrow night, or
depends on the time. Exact time. This time tomorrow.
I will be okay. No matter what, because I am an objective journalist, of course. But you can find me on Twitter at NBA Krell. Kareem, you can send your hate messages there if you want. I'll be sure to not respond to them. And just positive vibes until no positive. All I could say is this: my dad and I were talking about this last night, and you were like, the Sixers were infinitely more fun to watch when they sucked.
100%. 100%.
It was way better when they were tanking or when they were mediocre because you just had no expectations to begin with.
Well, Game 5 was absolutely a nightmare. Game 6, they won, but it was, for me personally, like, if you watched our postgame, like, it was brutal. Like, I hated life watching that entire game. From the refs, from the tempo, there's nothing easy about that W. Mark, what do you got going on, man? Where can we find you?
Mark, you going to Game 7? You taking a girlfriend to Game 7?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh my god. I do not. Oh my god. I could not be in the building again.
Might never go to a game ever again.
I haven't been to an Eagles game since Sam Bradford lost by 1 million to the Cardinals because that was such a terrible experience. It was freezing. I'm never going back. It might be the same thing. Oh, my God. But you follow me at Mark Henry Jr. _ on Twitter. You follow the Tough Cover Podcast at Tough Cover Pod. I'm going to be getting some fantasy football content going soon. I'm doing my research. I have my tentative top 200 right now. I'm working on ironing it out, and there's some stuff going, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson stuff pending. But like Austin said, I might be under a bridge tomorrow. And in the words of Freddie Mercury, if I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on. It is going to be the most anxiety-ridden 3 hours since Toronto Game 7, and that didn't end very well. So
the worst part is they could be up by 35, 40. Yeah. And I'll still be like,
oh, yeah.
Like, I do not trust you in the slightest.
At all. So make sure you follow. All right, let's wrap this up. Make sure you follow my man, Austin. Yeah, Austin on Twitter at NBA Krell. Check out the Feed to Embiid podcast. Awesome NBA content with Kai Carlin, breaking down the NBA and the Sixers. Check him out on Last Out Media. Breaks down the NBA there as well. And my man Mark Henry, give him a
longer.
What?
Not too much longer on Last Out Media.
All right, breaking news. All right. Did you want to
No. Keep going.
That was awkward.
Easter egg.
Also, Mark Henry, my man, at Mark Henry Jr. _ runs the Tough Cover podcast. Anything else you want to plug, Mark? What am I missing?
The wrestling podcast needs to get going, but the Sixers are taking up way too much of my time. But when the Sixers stop, that's when my NBA draft research and my WWE podcasting will kind of get back going.
Yeah, this has been the most exhausting year on the beat. I mean, I haven't slept more than 6 hours. I think in about I would venture to say since November.
I was thinking about that. Austin literally writes every single recap. Literally, how many words in every recap? It's 2,000.
It's got 2,000 words. I'm usually up till 1 and 2 in the morning. And not to say, I'm not saying I work hard, but it's just a lot. It is a lot of work. It is to write.
Well, Austin, while you're up doing something productive and typing in actual words and doing things that people read, I'm busy watching Rays Mariners and sweating out a bet for the Tough Cover podcast, and it is just brutal. I
coming in hot. Single.
Oh man, I need basketball season to be over and with the Sixers win.
Last night after the press conferences and I finished writing at 2:30 in the morning last night. I cracked open a Michelob and just stood in the shower for 10 minutes. And I was like, I'm gonna have gray hair by 28. I'm just gonna be, I'm gonna be done.
And by the way, my man Austin just got verified. So if you're not following Austin, what the hell are you doing? Give him a follow on
very smart to follow me.
All right, let's wrap this up, guys. It's after midnight and it's Father's Day tomorrow, which means it honestly means I eat and drink all day long. So anyway, that is Austin. That is Mark. We'll be back. Oh, by the way, I got to plug me and Tiago's NBA draft pods. Every Saturday morning we've been pumping. We're at 22 now. NBA Sixers draft, NBA draft targets, 22. So if you love the NBA draft, if you love the Sixers, just type in the painted lines, type in NBA draft. They're all there. Scouting reports, highlight reels, and we're going to be ramping those up big time before the draft comes, next month. So if you love that, it's awesome. If you love Austin, he is NBA Krell. If you love Mark, who doesn't love Mark? He is Mark Henry Jr. _. Thank you, everybody.